Thank you, that's great. Okay, next we have Kathy Duffy.
Delightful.
Summer is a time where kids go to camp, and scouting is a big thing. Now, when I was growing up, I dearly wanted to be a Girl Scout. But there were more girls that wanted to be scouts than there were parents to run the troops. And since I had two little brothers at home and my mother couldn't volunteer, I didn't get to be a Girl Scout. And I found this really, really heartbreaking. Well, fast forward, and in the 80s, I was separated. I was living with some friends, and they had a middle school age daughter, and she wanted to be a Girl Scout. And there were more girls than there were parents who were willing to run the troops. Now, I thought this was the universe's way of giving me a chance to be a Girl Scout. I was enthused. I never look a gift horse in the mouth, so I signed right up. I was thrilled to pieces. Now, one thing you might need to know is that I grew up in the city of Philadelphia. Asphalt everywhere. Postage-size little front lawns that actually, like a stamp cut in half on either side. And the most wildlife that I've probably seen were insects. But I now lived in New Jersey. I had seen a few like farm animals, behind fences, so I was up for this challenge. This was it. I was going to be a Girl Scout. So I signed up for leadership training. And this was wonderful because I was going to be in a troop of middle school age girls, which meant that I wasn't going to have the daisies or the brownies, and that meant I wouldn't have to worry about kids crying overnight in the tent because, they'd never slept in the backyard before, which is good since I'd never been inside of a tent, let alone slept in one, even in my backyard. So I was enthused about this. And the next level up of Girl Scouts are juniors. Juniors are very heavily craft-oriented. You have to come up with some sort of little craft thing every week. Well, I wasn't super crafty. I never could figure out knots when macrame was the thing, so I was quite relieved that I wasn't going to have juniors. I was going to have cadets. And cadets, those kids could do almost anything. And they believed they could do anything, which was wonderful because I've always felt that my whole life. It comes as a shock when something doesn't quite work. So I was thrilled to pieces. And I want to tell you right now, up front, that they were the most fun-loving, inspiring, joyful group of kids to work with ever. I can't say the same for their parents. Now, I was silly enough, or immature enough, depends on how you look at it, I guess, to ask them what it was they wanted to do. What badges did they want to go to? What did they want to do? They wanted to hike the Appalachian Trail. Okay, now this is a woman who was working in a library, and they made us park in the staff parking lot, which was out behind the building, past the bookmobile garage. And I always felt that going from the staff parking lot to the building qualified as a hike. So I was, a little concerned about this, but hey, I work in a library. I'm going to research this. I'm going to find out exactly how this works. So I got all these books out on backpacking. Sounded simple. You get a backpack, It has a frame, distributes the weight, they were all very clear on that. And you put your sleeping bag or the tent, whichever one is heavier, on the bottom, put the other on the top, and you put the stuff you need, you know, to eat and cook and stuff like that in the backpack. It's great. Kids all worked, we did sub sales, everybody got their backpacks. Okay, we're gonna do this. So first trial trip, I set it up for the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. Flat, sandy, defined trails. Hopefully we weren't gonna see the Jersey Devil. Defined trails is really good. Not one of those books mentioned that a teenage girl could fill a backpack to 85 pounds in 5 minutes flat. And I couldn't understand where they thought they were going to plug the hairdryer. I just couldn't understand this. So the idea was we went to the Pine Barrens and everybody had to put their pack on a scale because we didn't want anybody to get hurt because they had too much weight. Well, by the time we got the backpacks down to the required weight limit, the sun was setting. We hadn't gotten into the trail yet. So we drove around the camping area. Well, the second trip was actually going to be on the Appalachian Trail. Some of us learned our lessons very hard. And I picked a section in western Pennsylvania, out near Gettysburg. And we got everything together and we drove out there and the weather was gorgeous and we got to the park and the rangers put us in the group camping area down by the river. Oh my gosh, you hear the river over the rocks. We had a campfire, we told ghost stories, it was wonderful. And we all got into our sleeping bags that night and fell sound asleep. And then the rain started. And the rain kept going. And then when that was done, it kept raining. Now, rain makes me sleepy, which, by the way, if you live here in Florida, is a problem. But I slept like the proverbial log. And then I heard a voice. Miss Kathy! Miss Kathy! The river's overflowing. Brenda is stuck in her sleeping bag and she's afraid to get out of it. It's sinking. I'm listening to the rain. I'm thinking, well, floating is so much better than sinking. I don't know what their problem is. And finally, one of the girls, the panic in her voice got through to me. I'm like, oh my God, girls, lost. Oh, rivers. And I jump out of my tent and I go after the tent. Pull it back to the shore. And I unzip it and it's like not moving. And there's this giant soggy lumping and I'm like, oh my God, and I'm pulling the sleeping bag. Are you looking for me, Miss Kathy? That's when the first white hair arrived. Now, I've always been one to feel like you shouldn't give up on something when the first thing goes wrong. I even recycle all my boyfriends at least twice. It's a very hard learner. So I planned a second trip on the Appalachian Trail. Nowhere near a river. This time we went, since we were in South Jersey, we went up to New York, and the idea was it was right over the line, and we were going to hike the trail down into northern New Jersey. And I had the physical maps with the little round lines, and you know, they marked buildings and stuff like that. We got there, and we stayed in a regular pay-for-it camping place. And I had to listen all night to the girls crying because they had their hair dryers. But in the morning, we got up and we put on our backpacks and we headed down the trail, and it was beautiful. The woodpeckers were pecking, the trees were, you know, making nice tree noises, there were wildflowers. It was really bucolic. And then we came to a boulder field. Well, they put a lot of things on those maps, but evidently boulder fields are not worth mentioning. And this thing was huge. It was probably 3 times as wide as this room, and it stretched as far downhill and uphill as you could see. So there was nothing to do but to get across it. You could see the trail on the other side. So I gathered the girls, and I said, now look, we're going to cross this boulder field, and you are not going to do anything stupid. Not one thing. You're not going to mess around. You are going to do this properly, one at a time. You're going to stay balanced, and you're going to go to the other side, and then help the next person over. So I sent 2 of my more athletically inclined girls. They made it across. Sent a couple more over. They made it across, and they were behaving. Because after all, you know, we came from New Jersey. I had told them before they left, anybody breaks a bone, an arm, a leg, a foot, I'm going to break the other one with my bare hands. But, you know, they're from New Jersey. They all understood it was exciting. So off they go. Now I'm on the other side, and I'm watching. I took a friend. She was the other leader. She was on the other side. She was, you know, very athletic, very annoying person, but she was on the other side with the girls, and I'm counting as they get across, because we had 16 girls to get over, okay? I'm counting and counting and counting, and finally, there were 10 of them over there, so I was going to start over. Now, one of the girls right ahead of me was having a lot of trouble balancing. I was like, freeze, freeze, everybody freeze. And then 2 of the girls who were really good came over, took her backpack off. One took the backpack, and the other one helped the girl, and they got across the field. Okay, everybody can unfreeze now. Here we go. Well, I had to count the girls. It was a compulsive thing when you're a Girl Scout leader because, man, they can disappear in a flash. You know, seriously, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, everybody's here. Go. Okay. So in between, you know, this boulder and that boulder, I would stop and count heads. Count heads. Okay. So I'm so busy counting heads, and I wasn't watching my feet enough. And my foot got wedged down between 2 boulders, and we couldn't get it out. And the other leader and 2 of the girls came back. They took my backpack off. We tried this, that. We loosened the boot. Nothing. Could not get my foot out. After about a half an hour, I sent the other adult and 2 of the girls off to go find some help. Hopefully a forest ranger, because we were in the middle of nowhere. And the rest of the girls, they set up a little campfire in the road so they wouldn't endanger any trees. They made soup and sandwiches, and they carted them out to the boulder field to me. Of course, every one of them had to ask, are you going to break your other foot? It took 4.5 hours for a forest ranger pair to come, and they used radios to call the fire department and say they needed 4 or 5 rebars to pry this thing off me. So they took the other leader and the 16 Girl Scouts to the group camping area, which didn't thrill me, but they were going there, and then he stayed with me until the fire company came, and they moved the boulder, and I had to go out on a stretcher. Then I got to call my brother so that he could drive home, and this is tickets to the Eagles football game. He had to drive the van with the Girl Scouts in it back home, for which it's been 40 years and I'm still hearing about that Eagles football game. But just in case you weren't aware, not just astronauts have the right stuff, so do Girl Scout leaders.